My name is David Surman and I'm a painter, and we're here in my studio in Deptford in southeast London. Deptford's a great place to be an artist. There are people from all over the world here. I didn't grow up in London, I grew up in the British countryside, and my work takes inspiration from those memories and from the world around me. One of the key themes of my work is life, is vitality, how you express life. And I wouldn't make the paintings that I make today without my background training in animation and my appreciation of that art form. To me, painting is not an old media, it's a new media. Throughout art history, painting has continually reinvented itself. And in the post-internet era, painting has had a huge revival, and I see my work as part of that moment. I try as much as possible to make my work very universal. I paint subjects, and I use techniques which can be understood no matter where you're from. And while I was living in Australia, I became more and more interested in the Asia Pacific as a region. And I learned that Hong Kong was the real center of the Asia Pacific art scene. And back then I started to dream about the possibility of showing in Hong Kong. I also have a sort of nostalgic connection to Hong Kong because I, as a film student, loved the films of Wong Kar-wai and John Woo, and really fell in love with that cinematic picture of Hong Kong, a sort of city of glowing lights. It's the definition of a modern metropolis, and yet at the same time, nature comes very, very close. You can look out from the windows of SENS Gallery and see a huge hill covered in trees. That kind of Hong Kong experience of the city next to nature makes it a very, very unique place, and it makes it the perfect setting for my paintings. When SENS Gallery reached out to me earlier this year, I was incredibly excited about the collaboration because it would be the first time that I would be having a solo exhibition in Asia, and I really didn't know what to expect, but the gallery's been incredibly supportive, and I've had total freedom to create an exhibition that I hope everybody enjoys when they come to the new gallery. My goal with these paintings is to create an encounter between the audience and the creature, in the same way that when we go to a zoo or we take a walk in the countryside and we meet an animal and we have this strange feeling of a meeting. I want the audience to have that powerful feeling of a meeting when they look at my painting. In the exhibition, which I've called Portraits of a Wild Family, I continue this practice of painting these large animals, but I've started to introduce families, companionships, two creatures together, mother and child, or father and child, or friends. And the reason I've done this is to really celebrate the feeling of coming together as we globally come out of the COVID era and we return to some kind of normality. That feeling of coming together, of enjoying proximity with one another, is one of the major themes of this body of work. I've painted bears which look like they've just come out of their cave, or cats which are waking up from a long slumber, but they're ready to play. They're ready to go out into the world and do something fun. And really, that's if there's a theme to the show, this is the theme: the readiness to return to the world, which I think everybody feels. I don't create illusions. I don't try and make the kind of painting that tricks the eye. You can see how it's made. You can see the charcoal. You can see the canvas. You can see the paint. when you look at my paintings, you can see the brush mark. You can see how my arm has moved and how my hand has moved and created the thing in front of you. And so it's a record of me and my body. And so there are two bodies at work in my painting. The one that I paint, the dog, the bird, the horse, and then there's my body, the body of the artist, which creates all of those brush marks. It's a real honor and a privilege to have my first solo show in Asia at SENS Gallery, and I hope you enjoy the exhibition.